I'm gonna start this video off with one of the YouTube algorithm's no-no words, but we all know this video wasn't gonna get monetized anyways, so let's roll with it. I fucking love Cyberpunk. There, I said it. I'm gonna follow it up with a pretty bold claim. I believe Cyberpunk is the most important genre of fiction in the media right now. However, despite kicking things cold open, I'm gonna need to take a few steps back. We'll start by defining what is cyberpunk. And as Google so eloquently puts it, it's a genre of science fiction set in a lawless subculture of an oppressive society, dominated by computer technology. However, I don't think this covers the whole idea. In my mind, a lot of cyberpunk's importance is in its ability to explore plausible futures. Now, don't get me wrong, little baby Kronos Tech was a massive Star Wars fan. However, faster-than-light travel and lightsabers aren't exactly doing so hot on the plausibility scale. However, many cyberpunk staples are things that, for the most part, I see as plausible realities for our future. Hell, Elon Musk's Neuralink is hitting more and more news articles each day. And honestly, sign me up for popping a small hole in my skull. I literally built my new YouTube avatar to have a cybernetic face. But that's the idea. When I look at Star Wars, at least the non-Disney ones, I see fantastical worlds. But when I look at Blade Runner, Cyberpunk 2077, Altered Carbon, The Red Strings Club, I think to myself, damn, that could be us in a few decades. And here's where I get to the title of the video. The best Cyberpunk game I've ever played is a little 2018 title called The Red Strings Club. I've referenced it as an inspiration for my current in-development game, Fourth Dawn. However, I thought it deserved a full video of my praise. So here's the obligatory spoiler warning. Like most experiences, The Red Strings Club is best enjoyed blind, so go pick it up on Steam. I'm a firm believer that a smaller experience is just as much worth your time as a 200-hour AAA title, and this one is definitely worth your $15. Now that you haven't even paused the video to consider possibly playing this game before I spoil it to you, let's proceed. Don't worry though, I won't spoil the ending, just a part of the game that I found the most personally impactful, so stick around for that. But let's start off with the basics of the game. You spend most of the game playing as Donovan, a handsome bartender and sly information broker, at his bar called, appropriately, the Red Strings Club. While playing as Donovan, you use your alluring charm and spiritual hand to mix drinks and slip information out of people. That sounds mildly sketchy on a second read-through, but hear me out. You have a couple different spirits at hand, of which you mix to tap into your customers' different emotions. Then you ask them questions, of which they may answer differently depending on what emotional state they're in. If they're feeling prideful, they may leak information of projects they're working on, or leak company secrets if they're afraid of their bosses. After each person leaves the bar, this robo-twink asks you a bunch of different questions about the person you just talked to. This part is honestly one of the best designed ways I've seen a game force its players to interact with its characters. At the beginning of the game, it feels like you're being hand-holded into learning about these characters, but after a while, you genuinely become invested in them. The game makes you want to learn about this woman's favorite type of alcohol. And to me, that's the magic of this game. A lot of people think that Cyberpunk is about fighting and cool gear and futuristic cities, but in my mind, that's really missing the point. Cyberpunk is about the moral implications of our actions and how they affect our future. And here's where I talk about what possibly may be the most impactful moral choice I've ever made in a video game. So, one last spoiler warning before I ruin a major plot point. Here it is, the decision screen I stared at for about probably 10 minutes. A bit of context, at this point in the game, it has been revealed to the player that Supercontinent Ltd., the game's antagonist corporation, has developed a technology that allows them to affect behaviors of everyone in the city. They have a neat little scientific explanation for it that I won't get into, but the gist of it is they're developing a means of mass mind control. the ability to stop everyone from doing certain actions or exhibiting certain behaviors, and your robot sidekick has offered to take control of it and change what behaviors and actions are and aren't allowed to whatever you want them to be. Which leaves us here, with this robot effectively asking you if you could correct the flaws of the world. Would you? And I mean, what do you even say to that? I have several close friends who have been victims of sexual assault, and I've seen the pain it's caused them, and if I could, I'd stop anyone going through that ever again. But, on the other hand, is choosing to brainwash rapists really the answer? If I do this, doesn't it make me just as bad as what I'm fighting against? And the dramatic irony is, haven't I already been puppeteering people's emotions? With the drinks? Am I an emotional controller fighting against a company of mind controllers? It feels like there's no good answer. And it's not just this question, it's several others as well. Murder, suicide, depression, anger, all types of volatile and negative behaviors that could be prevented at the cost of freedom. It really makes you think about what makes us human. And that's what I believe Cyberpunk should be. Not just corporations are bad, look at my robot arms. George Orwell's 1984, what I would consider to be one of the first pieces of cyberpunk literature, doesn't have hyper-fantastical technology and oppressive megacorporations, but the bleak implications of control and the perspective of a society stripped of free will and privacy. Cyberpunk is built on the moral ambiguity inherent in technological progress of humanity. As the gears of science and industry march ever forward, we have to be careful what we throw under its crushing momentum. We need to be aware of the impact that we have on our world. And that's all I have to say for this video. It looks like it's going to be a long one, so thanks again for sticking around. Sorry there isn't a devlog this week. I'm currently working on some spoiler-heavy content for 4th Dawn, so expect some more video essays in the meantime. I'll try and keep this short because this video is a behemoth as is. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Chronos Tech, clocking out.